I am Wanda Curlee, your authority on project, program, and portfolio management. Without further ado, let's get going. The first article I have is on how to leverage the power of science fiction for exponential innovation. I found this article quite convincing to me because when we have radical changes in industries, it happens because people were looking into the future. Think about Apple Newton. It was actually a flop when it first came out, but it was the beginning of the iPhone, and look where we are with the iPhone nowadays and smartphone technology. If we hadn't had the Apple Newton, who knows where we would be in. But this article has a way of looking into the future, a methodology, so to speak. But they tell you that in this article, you need to look at 15 years in the future and create projects that center around that. Yes, you'll have some projects that fail, but you'll have other projects that will be innovative and creative and radically change the industry that you're in. So make sure that you're looking at science fiction and thinking about how you can be in the future. It used to be that landing on the moon was thought to be only science fiction in the 50s. But look, we did it in the 60s. In 1969, we landed a person on the moon. So think about the future and how you'll do and what your industry will look like. So let's go to the next one, which is AI, the United States and AI. I don't like to get into politics, but the White House says a new AI task force will protect workers and keep America first. So what the White House has done is put together a task force that looks at how AI will affect jobs. And they're going to try to protect jobs from AI and make AI work for the worker. I think this is a little bit naive. I do think that AI will create new jobs and we need to be flexible. I think project management will be affected by AI and machine learning, and we'll see that in the next article that I'm going to go on. But I think the White House would be great in putting a task team together on how we can create new jobs for AI rather than protecting old jobs. We also need to be in the forefront on what AI and machine learning will do for our different industries. So I think we need to have more R&D budget looking at AI. So I have two different surveys that I'd like to share with you. The first one is about IT priorities, 2017 IT priorities survey. And this was done by TechTarget, and it was the UK results. But I think the ones in the United States would mirror it. The reason I go through this is I want you as project managers to think where you can put your project management skills. So the first question that was asked was, which best describes the areas to which you devote most of your time? And most of it was at general IT management. That was 32%. But then security and application development came in at 20%. How do you expect your 2017 budget for information technology to differ from your 2016 budget? 27% said it was the same. 24% said they didn't know. This leads me to believe that there were many IT professionals that answered the survey but weren't in an area of executive leadership. Budget, which areas will your budget increase in? There was a tie at 43% for cloud services and software. Which areas will your budget decrease in? 50% said it was staff. 44% said servers and on-premise. I kind of believe that staff may decrease because there will be automation and some things, but there'll be new jobs in IT that will create it. And so I don't think staff will go down that much. Which of these broad initiatives will your company implement in 2017? And 30% said it was big data, business analytics, and 28% said it was compliance. I would kind of think that compliance will go up in 2018 because of GDPR in the EU. Mobility, which of these mobility projects will your company do in 2017? 52% said deploy a mobile application development platform. There was a tie at 41% for deploy enterprise mobility management and deploy leverage mobile collaboration application. Which of these data center infrastructure projects will you deploy in 2017? Hybrid cloud management was at 32%, and systems management was at 31%. Which of these primary storage initiatives will your company deploy in 2017? It was 13% said storage for virtual environments. Which of these backup storage initiatives will your company deploy in 2017? Was in-house internal disaster recovery business was at 17%. The last one that I'm going to read to you is which of these desktop projects will your company do in 2017? And 32% said it was Windows 10 deployment migration. So you can see that the industry is catching up with what Microsoft has to offer in Windows deployment. So let me go to the next item that I want to cover today. And this was done by BitPipe, but it was offered by Axelos. And it's the future of project management professionals. What Axelos did was they brought project management and business professionals together, and they had a round table where they picked at their minds and had a brainstorming session. And this is what came out of it. So the first thing that was discussed in this article is the strategic project manager. And 90% of project managers agree that they need a much stronger strategic vision that aligns with the goals of the business. 90% agree that new technologies will generate risks that will need to be managed. 75% agree that increased regulation and compliance will generate more projects. I couldn't agree more. We need to be in strategy or else our projects will die. So 5 years ago, PMs weren't really involved in strategy, but now they are involved in every stage of road mapping. Absolutely, this is a great thing to happen. If our projects don't align to the strategic objective of the organization, then you need to go find a new project. Project managers as agents of change. 90% of project managers believe ongoing training will be vital to keeping up with the pace of change. 72% see project management becoming a respected career choice. That's good news. 76% believe project management will become a basic business skill. I think we're seeing that a little bit, but I think we'll always have project managers to take over projects that are complex and are chaotic, and we're seeing a lot of that already. 72% believe project management will become more professional. If we become more professional, we'll have more credence in what we do as project managers. In 5 years, PMs will need to be business managers. I couldn't agree more. We need to train PMs to analyze outputs and so that they'll understand what the outcomes will be. It will no longer be project management. It will be about fast-paced change management. Project managers have always been about change, and we need to understand change management within our projects. The importance of the human factor. 59% of project managers believe automation will take over routine tasks. I couldn't agree more. I believe that AI and machine learning will be incorporated in project management software, and I'm surprised that it isn't at this point. It needs to be, and we need to make sure that we stay ahead of the game on AI and machine learning. 57% believe artificial intelligence and machine learning will have a profound impact on project management. Absolutely. I think this is we'll see a radical change in project management within the next 5 to 10 years. Diplomacy is a key skill for PMs. We work with stakeholders, we work with end users, and we have to be diplomatic about the change. You need the emotional intelligence to know when something is not working and be able to say that instead of just going ahead. There needs to be more focus on the softer skills on how to develop these. That has always been true in project management. We need to focus on the soft skills because that's what gets you ahead as a project manager. Project management in practice, it would be good to see training content with more practical elements and trends that link to the industry. I'd like to see peer-to-peer discussion forums that are sector-specific and let you share real-life experiences. At conferences, we share our own practical case study experiences, and the uptake is huge, but you don't see it from the PM providers. PM providers need to start doing this in order to stay ahead of what technology is all about. All about agile. The technology means we cannot afford to be so risk averse anymore. Project managers tend to be risk averse, but we need to incorporate risk into our projects in order to stay ahead. Agile is becoming better known. The quest for perfect results will change the quest for faster and more flexible results. There's no time anymore. 80% is good enough. So it won't be about staying on the iron triangle. It will be about providing 80% of what we envisioned. Agile will become more relevant because we need to be more responsive. The traditional model of annualized business planning is disappearing to deal with the rapidly external environment. We need more agile. We renamed all our PMs and called them transition managers instead, as it better describes what they do. I think that's a wonderful idea. I think we need to have different names for project managers to incorporate it into the industry. 89% of the project managers agree on the need for more creativity and flexibility in project management. I have been advocating this all along. Neuroscience is coming in and is showing us how to understand how we function as human beings, how the brain is working and driving us. So we need to also make sure that we look at neuroscience. 84% agree that Agile will grow in importance. Evolution of learning styles. 76% of the project managers believe young people coming into project management will have totally different expectations. I couldn't agree more. Millennials are already changing some aspects of project management, and I think they're good changes. They're looking at how to be more flexible, and that is what we need in project management. 70% believe online learning will replace traditional education routes. I absolutely agree with that. And 74% believe learning will become gamified and interactive. While I was at HP, we actually had training that included avatars, and it included the gaming, and it made it more credible and made it the learning more fun. I actually retained more information than looking at PowerPoints. A methodology can't teach you to manage change in isolation of people skills. PPM is now about business analysis at the front end and business analysis at the back end, and training needs to reflect this. It's not only about budgets anymore. It's about understanding the business analysis, and we need the BAs to help us with this. We need to understand what the business analysis is at the beginning of a project and at the end of the project to make sure that we're delivering what we want. This podcast has been brought to you by PM Powered, your consulting company that brings you project program and portfolio needs. Please look at pmcurrent.com, and I'd like you to follow me on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. If you are on any of these areas of project management, I'd love to hear from you. Please contact me at wanda@pmpowered.com so I can bring you onto the podcast and we can discuss it. Please also let me know if I'm not covering things that you'd like to hear in the podcast. I'd love to hear from you so I know what you are looking for. And if there are any events that you are having, please let me know. I'll advertise it on the podcast. I look forward to seeing you next Monday, and have a wonderful week.